And we are live. Good morning, everyone. It's Wednesday, so you know what that means. It's Woke Women Wednesday. Senator Dianne Wilkerson, I'm here with you this morning. We have a special guest coming, but I'm going to do a little promo. In fact, here she is. Let me get her on.
See if I can get a.
My guest, you're on the screen. We're already on.
Oh, hello,
You
hello.
look beautiful, by the way.
Thank you. So do you.
You look
Let me
beautiful.
just.
You do. We both have like our reds and yellows is beautiful today.
Beautiful.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but maybe I
Wonderful.
need to check my volume because I don't hear you very loud.
Well, I hear you fine. We
Oh, do
already
you?
have people on.
But you know what,
President Jason
Diane,
Scott, I have to
should
tell
I
you.
I need to put this shade down,
Yes,
right?
I don't want the glare in your face.
Yeah.
That's perfect. I can tell
That better?
already. So
Okay.
I have to tell you that when we do our promos, right, we get response. This is by far the largest level of response and feedback that I have gotten about a guest.
You're
And they're
kidding.
all about excitement, about congratulations, about I can't believe she jumped in to do this, and oh my God, I can breathe a sigh of relief. It's not normally what happens, is the bottom line. I want you to know that.
Oh, well, that's an honor.
I'm telling
Now
you,
I
you
have
can
to
check
live up
it
to
yourself.
this.
It just is not what normally happens. And right up until right before I clicked on, I was still reading comments from people. I see them on already. Good morning, Deborah. And so let me just, as I suspected, so many people did not know and were just excited to hear because there's so much positive thought and feeling about the beloved, I call it the beloved institution that we call Roxbury Community College. But let me do this. I was just saying my welcome and good morning every Wednesday when I come. I always start by saying thank you to the women with the vision, the three women who decided, and gentlemen, by the way, that and 2 years ago, right, that it would be a good idea for us to have a medium to impart information to our Black residents in Greater Boston.
That's
and
fabulous.
WWOC Woke Radio, Facebook Live, FM was born. And we started with the task. I came in May of 2020 to talk about, if you can believe it, all things Black, Brown, and COVID every Wednesday morning at 11. And then at 8 p.m., my fierce and fearless warrior, I call her my fierce and fearless warrior, City Councilor Julie Mejia, she's on at 8. And she's actually
fabulous.
in Chile. She's in Chile. So I don't know if we're going to see her tonight, but any other week on Wednesday, we're going to be doing something really exciting for Women's History Month. We're going to be on set doing some live feeds, but it's just important.
Absolutely.
And we, you know, the reality is that why I told you that my topic is to talk about all things Black, Brown, and COVID. What that really has meant is all things. Because COVID has impacted and
all of our lives,
woven every single aspect of our waking and sleeping lives.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
will probably forever be changed. Certainly one of those is institution, from the tiniest daycare, the toddlers to our K through 12, the constant interruption to higher ed, to our community colleges have not been spared some of the disruption and interruption, as we are now in the third educational cycle impacted by COVID. And for an institution like Roxbury Community College, it's been through its ups and downs. I could not think, and we heard the news, I think in December, that the former president was leaving, and then it was just quiet. Right? Then it was just quiet. And then I started to get these, like the trickling, the information. Somebody said, Jackie. And I'm like, okay, Jackie who? That Jackie Jenkins Scott. And I tell people all the time, this is my make-believe. I did a somersault in my head.
No, sir.
In my head.
In your head, okay.
In my head. and was just cheering
Mhm.
because as the new and interim president of Roxbury Community College, you have entered at such an important time, both in the need to have that institution represented as we move to this new space, the post-COVID. Eventually, we hope we're going to get there,
Mhm.
and also 50th anniversary, right?
Yes. Yes.
Over this next year, which is your presence there, I will tell you, gives us something to celebrate. And so you come
Well,
to this
thank you.
space with an enormous body of experience. I know there was much before, but certainly we know you as the woman who put community health on the map, not
Yeah.
just Dimmick Community Health Center, but community health
Mhm.
on the map in this country, not just a local and neighborhood, city, state leader, but nationally. And also then as the president of Wheelock College. And I said in my promo that I wrote, we all understand that you could be doing a lot of different things at this point. A lot easier than this, a lot less stressful and challenging than this. But you like a challenge. And so,
Yes, I do.
not a
Well,
surprise.
and Diane,
Introduce
just
to the
like
world
you,
the interim
we
president
have,
of Roxbury Community College, Jackie Jenkins Scott. So I
thank,
want you, yes, here it's you.
thank you.
Take it away, right?
This is my first live um, show to be on since I started
I'm
on
honored. I'm
February
honored.
7th. And I am thrilled to be here with you, my friend of, as they say, long standing.
A long time.
I was just, actually talking about you with Liz Rylanger, believe it or not,
Oh, of
the
course,
other
remember
day,
Liz.
who has the greatest respect for you. And, we both were just marveling at how you stood up for children and families. And, at that point, at that time, that Liz was telling me about a meeting that you and she had about RCC
Yes,
and Madison Park.
that's right.
And so that goes back,
Years. I
years
knew
and
Liz
years
from
ago.
Home for Little Wanderers,
Yeah.
from our Italian home. I knew Liz from the Boston School Committee, where
Yes.
she was a major player and an
Yes.
important
Yes.
giant. Like I say, as were and are you.
Yeah.
And just want you to understand the level of respect. It's like calls and texts and emails and posts on Facebook just pouring in. Like, really? Oh my goodness! Congratulations. So,
Wow.
I was hoping just like one, how did you decide to do this? And then let's talk about RCC
Our
and what's next and
challenges.
what you see your
Well,
challenges over the next year, not just in the celebration, but in the a formal process for selection of a new
with the new
president
president.
in the same time
Yeah.
frame. So
Yeah.
this is your time. Talk about what's in store.
Well, thank you. Well, first of all, this institution is beloved as it should be in this community. And RCC is owned by the community in a way no other of the 15 community colleges are owned.
That's right.
And rightfully so, because of the legacy and the shoulders we stand on of the people who fought to make sure this college is here. And so, yes, I was in a different mode when I
As we
got
say, minding my own business.
yeah, minding my own business. But the truth of the matter is, that verse, to whom much is given, much is required. And, after I thought about it and prayed on this, I don't really have the option to turn my back and say, um, let somebody else do this. If I have a contribution to make, I have to make it. And I just wouldn't feel, we are all blessed to be here where we are now. And I just would not feel that I could just turn my back when I'm being asked to make a contribution. And because we love this institution. And the one thing I can say, clearly, I have not met anyone who wishes ill on this college.
That's right.
Everybody wants it to thrive. Now, we
That's
may
right.
have different ideas about what thriving means,
That's right.
how we get there, but to me, that is the beginning of how we work together. That we assume that we come into this wanting this institution to be at its best, wanting it for our community, for our students, for our families. They deserve nothing but the best. And wanting it for the legacy of the people who put all their heart and soul into getting this institution here. So that's why I did it, Dianne. I just, you pray on this, and someone said it to me perfectly. When you put it out to the universe, nothing said don't do this. If you're not supposed to do it, you're going to get the signal.
That's right.
A signal is going to come that you should be going another way. So the signal never came. I was looking for it to come. But
No.
so I feel very privileged to be able to try to help with this contribution during this time. I think, one of the most important things we can do for this college is to position it I want us to have 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 people who want this job so that we can get the very best.
That's right.
So that's what I see as part of my mandate over this period of time that I'm here, to do all we can to, we've got some challenges, some things we have to solve. We've got to turn the trajectory in a different way. But I do believe with all my heart that we can position this college to have an extraordinary leader come in here. And that's what I want to do.
I could see the
that's
people
what
lining
we
up.
want to do. That's what we all
Exactly.
want to do.
I
Is to
can see
see
them
it.
lining up to say good morning. Good morning. Monica's here. Deborah Smith Presley's here, and all saying good morning to interim President Jenkins Scott. So, President Scott, talk about what's the next year look like. So, what is you talked about the challenges? Talk about some of those challenges and some of the plans.
So, granted, I'm going to tell you, I've been here 10 days.
2 weeks, right? Not even 2 weeks, right?
2 weeks, but I want to tell you what some of the challenges are. And we're going to get to them because we have to talk truth. All of us, our integrity says we can't sugarcoat anything. We can't pretend that things don't exist. But I want to start with the positive. And then we can go to the challenges. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
And sometimes people want to start with the challenges and we never get to understand how we can overcome these challenges. So in my first 2 weeks here, I've had 2 open meetings with the college community. The first was in person, and we had about 70 people from faculty, staff. I don't think any students. I'm having a student one next, I think it's tomorrow. But I set up for what I call listening and learning. Because if you're a leader, you have to come in and you have to be open to listening. You cannot come in with the answers. The answers will come from all of us.
That's right.
So my first week on the job, I wanted to set the tone that I'm here to listen. I'm here to learn. I'm here to explore. I'm here to encourage. I'm here to problem solve. And one of the questions someone is kind of asking is essentially, well, are you a caretaker? And I had to say, no.
That's
we
right.
are going to do work. We're not.
Right.
The board didn't bring me here to just sit up in this beautiful office and do nothing.
That's right.
So we're going to work on making improvements, but we do that together, and we do that in a collaborative way. And the first thing I've got to do is I've got to listen. I've got to hear what people are feeling. I want to hear, what your aspirations and your dreams are. Because if we can't dream and we can't envision, And, it's hard to get to where we want to go. So that's the first thing I started, Diane. So the first one, we had 60 plus people, maybe 70 people.
Wow.
And we had a good conversation. The second one, I did it on Zoom because we know people are and we had 66 people on the Zoom call.
I bet.
And Diane, what I did was, and I've never kind of managed a Zoom with 60 people, but I felt it was important that everyone on that call introduce themselves and say how long they've been at the college and say one word about how they're feeling.
Wow.
And we
bet
went
that was
around
powerful.
it. And some people said, they had never met some of the people because the last 2 years with COVID, and we were able to do this on Zoom. And I'll tell you, Diane, especially some of the faculty members who have taught at this, we have some amazing faculty.
I know it.
Who have been at this college for decades, 30 years, 25 years, talked about how they missed their students, how they missed having the opportunity to teach and interchange and have dialogue with these students, and talked about how brilliant our students are. We always think, well, our students bring so much. So I left that second Zoom, that first Zoom, second meeting. I was in tears by the end of that conversation, Diane, because there is such a love for this place.
Oh, I know it.
You wouldn't have 66 people
it's
come
spilling
on
out right
Zoom.
now on social media.
Yeah.
Just because I said the interim president's going to be here this morning. And so I'm not surprised at all. I think, I'm just thinking about all the things, the people I run into who talk about knowing the college when it was still in Grove Hall, right? Yeah. Who are still walking around sharing those stories. The fact that one of the main benefactors of the college, former Senator Bill Owens, passed away in the last 2 weeks. You and I talked about that. The groundbreaking, one of the first official acts that I got to do in '93 when I went to the State House as the Senate was to attend the groundbreaking for the Reggie Lewis. The groundbreaking. Now the foundation literally had been set by the former Senator Royal Bowling, the former Senator Bill Owens, and Representative Fox, but the groundbreaking was done in that first year. And I still
Charlie Titus was telling me about the groundbreaking.
Yes.
He just so that's the positive that we bring to this, and I like to talk about that, Diane, because it sets the groundwork for dealing with the challenges. And someone asked me at that or the board, what keeps me up at night? I will tell you right now, our enrollment.
Of course.
We are now the smallest community college of all 15. We used to be the third. So we're smaller than Greenfield, which is out in the boonies. So
and that can't be. But here's one of the lessons that I learned during COVID. It's ironic because we're talking about COVID and the Reggie and groundbreaking. 21 years later, it ends up being the site where more people were served in the city of Boston in COVID to save lives than any other site, right?
And you did a phenomenal job. You did a phenomenal job.
It's a big tent but my point is that here's what I learned about the process of community during COVID, and really, really, really directly impacts what you're speaking of. Our people who we target for enrollment at RCC don't get their news from the 4, 5, 10, 25. They don't get their news by the press conference. We got to go. We went, we knocked on doors and we talked to people. We met them in the parking lots. We met them in the grocery store parking lots. And the result was, again, the largest mobilization of our community from Roxbury, Dorchester, Mattapan, Hyde Park and Roslindale
Mhm.
to that building right there
Yes.
on the campus. I'm going to venture to guess that probably 90% of those folks had never had reason to be
Mm.
on that campus site
Yes.
before
Yeah.
then. But I learned something about it. Us just opening the door and putting a sign up doesn't mean
Yeah, it doesn't
anything.
it? Yeah, yeah.
And so
So
we have a job to do. You've
we have a
already in,
job to
in that
do.
comment just given us our challenge and our charge,
Now, some of the, you know, all colleges and all community colleges lost
Of
enrollment during
course, but
COVID.
nothing like this, right?
Nothing like RCC. Part of it is I am learning from our faculty and staff that our students are face-to-face people. That makes sense for our history, right? We are a verbal people. We are we are people that communicate. Um, and so when the college, as all colleges, had to go virtual, that was very, very hard for our students. So we have about 1,100 students that completely dropped off. And so we've got to reach out to what you just said. I said, we all have to get on the phone. We have to reach out to all of those students and see if we can get them back.
So, Madam President, let me add two more things to this, for you to think about. Again,
Mhm.
I know this because we're seeing it even in our K through 12. We've got about 30% of our community that I just talked about that are not online.
Uh, yeah.
And BPS felt the brunt of it because
Mhm.
25% of the students BPS were just disconnected
Yeah, we just
during the
couldn't.
time
Yeah,
that it's the same for the college
yeah,
students.
yeah.
Here's the
That's a
other
good
thing that I
point.
hadn't thought about until someone posted a month ago when they made the announcement about 28 and 22,
Mhm.
the bus lines are going to be
Mhm.
free for the
Mhm.
next 2 years.
Mhm.
Young man from Mattapan said, I can go to school now. We don't
Mm.
think of that a dollar
Oh,
50 or
wow.
$2 a ride,
Yes.
either way. And how and we Congresswoman Presley talks about this a lot as a fact.
Mhm.
We are disproportionately reliant on public
But yeah,
transportation.
absolutely, absolutely.
And it not only became too expensive in a community of people who
Mhm.
suffered a huge economic
Yeah,
hit in the
yeah,
last 2 years, but it also became for many people unsafe,
yes.
didn't want to
Okay,
chance it. And so
yes.
the medium again that people use
Mhm,
to travel to and from that institution was cut off for a whole
mhm.
host of reasons.
Yes.
And even remote learning wasn't an
Mm,
option for
mhm.
many of the very students
Yes.
who find their way
Mhm.
to RCC.
Yeah.
That gives you an idea of our work to do. We see it
Mhm.
because it happened with our K through
Yeah.
12. It's no different. The
Mm,
households are the households.
yes. So that's very, very much part of what we have to do. We have to move our enrollment from dropping to improving.
We'll get it back.
We'll get it back. I'm convinced of that. The second thing, Dianne, and here is, um, we have had some reputational issues
Of course.
around management, around structure, around how decisions are made, around transparency, all of those issues. And, um, we have to figure out how we systematically, which ones we're going to tackle. We can't fix every single problem, but one of them, I want to change the culture. And a culture, we will never be able to tell you everything
Exactly.
that why every decision is made, but we do want to have a sense of transparency here, that we are hearing and we are telling you truth. So that's important. The third thing is people, frankly, some of our systems, if we have them, we're not using them. Some of them are outdated, they're not working. And I have said to the community in a very, what I want to do is we have to understand what best practices are and how far we are away from them. For those areas that we are doing best practices, we want to celebrate that and honor that. But the only way we can get better is to honestly understand how far we have to go and then develop the plan. So I am going to bring in some independent assessments in certain areas of the college. Now, that's not a reflection on the people who are here.
No,
I don't
I
want
hear
people
you.
to feel that, oh, we're saying you're no good. No, that's not what we're saying. We're saying we want to be at the best we can be.
That's
And in
right.
order to do that, we need to honestly know how far we are away from best. So there are some
I
areas.
think that your comment about, owning
Mhm,
the reputational issues and understanding that there are things that will have to be fixed, can't fix everything, is going to land well on so many ears, because we often, not just with the school, but in
mhm.
general in our community, spend so much energy trying to sugarcoat and
Yeah,
hide stuff. Here's what I know about RCC. Um, 10 years ago, I'm not talking about 50 years ago, 100 years
mhm,
ago. I'm talking about 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. It was recognized
mhm.
by all of those institutions, healthcare institutions, as having the top nursing program
Yes,
in the city, if not
yes,
in this, on the eastern part of the
absolutely,
state, with some
absolutely.
like a 93% passage rate.
Mhm.
Northeastern was looking for our students to come
Yes,
and finish the two,
yes.
the 4 years after
Mhm,
two. The
mhm.
hospitals were looking for our students,
Yeah.
right? The nursing homes were looking for our students, even at the CNA trained
Mhm,
level.
mhm.
And so the fact that we were there once means we can do it again.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we have some opportunities. We have a new smart building center that can be, that is state of the art. Now we have to lead. These are jobs for our, in the next 10 years, the way buildings are managed is all going to be totally by technology. And we have the capacity here at the college to be a leader in making sure that all of this that's going to come down over this next, with infrastructure improvements and so on, our people need to get our fair share of that.
That's
And part of
exactly
that
right.
is that are good paying jobs. So we have the capacity to lead, not only lead again in nursing, but to lead in some of the new technologies that are coming down the pike. So
That's right.
that's very exciting to me. But we have to do it in putting the very highest of standards there. So some of the things we still have to fix, um, but I'm very excited about bringing in, some of these assessments and then getting started with the work.
Exactly.
Because I
So
think
another
if,
thing I was asked to make sure I mentioned to you, and I did talk about the fact that I've been hearing once I put just in the last 48 hours, the alumni.
yes,
You all
yes,
have to tap them. I see them doing ads for you. I see
mhm,
them doing 30, 60-second spots for you.
yes,
And they're proud alumni.
yes. So that's one of the most exciting things that I think that can help us do some of this reputational turnaround, Diane, is I envision a 50th anniversary celebration that's very inclusive. We have had some, we've had some different paths that people have taken that have created um, the sense that we don't work together. We can't work together. So I see the foundation, I see the board, I see the alums, I see the community. I want us to put together the most amazing 50th anniversary celebration. That's not one event. That's a whole year of celebrating and recognizing and honoring. And I don't want it to do it in silos. I think we've got to do it as a team. So the board, the foundation board has said yes to this. The board of trustees have said yes. I'm meeting with the Friends of RCC on Friday,
Wonderful.
and I'm hoping they will say yes, so that then we will put together the right or a I don't know, I won't write a good committee.
Well, I'm already volunteering.
Yes, so we will have a great 50th anniversary committee. I see the alums, I see us talking about what we envision for our future for the next 50 years. And I see us celebrating the legacy. You mentioned some of the people.
Yes.
Senator Bowling, Bill Owens. There were so many people that just fought for this institution to be here. So we have an opportunity, a teachable moment, because a lot of our young people, we don't connect to the history. We don't
That's
connect to
right.
the
That's
struggle
right.
of what it took
That's right.
to build these institutions.
And I think that the one thing that the Reggie Lewis Track and Athletic Center did
Mm-hmm.
that the college everyday operation couldn't necessarily do was create a reason and a space for all the other community people, the
Mm-hmm.
friends and supporters, to be on that campus.
Yes.
And so some of that was lost, not
Mm-hmm.
just in COVID, but just the change in
Yes.
policy. So it was not as welcoming. So we're
Yes.
looking forward to reopening that
Yes.
opportunity,
Yes.
because at the creation of that of the Reggie Lewis track, um, in the opening, one of the things that the college committed to do
Mm-hmm.
in writing was to always have a space and place for community to be able to
Yeah.
utilize the space.
Absolutely.
And they're knocking,
Absolutely.
they're calling, I got, so does this mean that we're going to be able to be in the space, that we're going to be able to be in the Reggie Lewis? But it was also how people got to know about the
Mhm.
college, right?
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a gem. It's a gem. And the way one of the faculty members described it last Thursday in the Zoom call, Dianne, she described the college as being a diamond that needs to be polished. And I thought that was just so beautiful the way
Perfect.
she
Perfect.
described that. Barbara Green, you probably know Barbara.
Yes. Yes.
Barbara she's been an adjunct faculty member here for, I think she said
Wow. I'm
25 to
sure
30
there's some
years.
that have been there more. Yes.
Yeah, but that was the way she described it. We have this diamond that needs to be polished.
That's a good way to put it. All of us needs to get our little cloths out and start
Yes.
polishing. That's true.
I was so moved when she said that, and I thought that's that description is something we can all relate to.
It sure is. It sure is. And I think that one of the reasons why you're getting the response, right? You're getting the attendance,
Mhm.
internally, because people believe that.
Mhm.
They know what we have here.
Yes.
And I would just want to reiterate the importance of us doing what we have to do to protect it. Because if we
Yes.
don't, it's so easy to
Yeah.
lose it.
Yeah.
And 50 years in, we can't.
We
We
can't
cannot.
we can't risk that. And that's why I'm saying we have to attack some of these systems that need to be improved, because we take things off the list for people to say no.
That's right.
So when you take something off the list, they can't keep saying, well, you don't have the right systems, or you don't have this, or you don't have that. No, we have it. We are
Well,
operating as good and better
so
than
so
others.
um, tell us if there what can we do? Tell us anything that we can do in the next month, 3 months, 6 months, a year.
Well,
Um,
you are, first of all, to believe and honoring this institution and talking about it. And I said to our community, we are all enrollment ambassadors.
that's right.
We don't want our kids taking the orange line and going past RCC. They're supposed to be getting off at this stop right
At
across the
Roxbury
street
Crossing. That's
and
right.
coming over to RCC. So um, talk us up, but hold us accountable. And, it goes both ways. We
That's
have
right.
to deliver. We have to give you something to be proud of. You
Well,
can't just talk us up
I
and
would just, I want to join, like I said, all the others who have expressed their excitement and their support and their glee and their wonderment and their gratitude to you, because for all of the challenges that you laid out that need to be done, um, I don't think any of us could have have imagined a better, able, and qualified person to do it than
Thank
you.
you.
And
Oh, thank you.
we can be very opinionated people. So to have for them, I would say for the governor, for the board to have found you for this time and this moment is nothing short of incredible, because people can get how our folks are,
I know our people.
and guess what, haven't heard any of it. It's
Oh,
all been, oh my goodness, right? You go on Facebook and read it for yourself. I hope you do. I
well,
hope you do.
I take that very seriously. I take that responsibility very seriously. And what I can say to you and to the community, we may not always get it right, but know that our intentions are right. So we may disagree on strategy, we might disagree on some of the decisions that we make, but I'm hoping, and I know I will get that grace, that people know we are in here because this is college is what we care about. Our students are driving our decisions. So there's nothing personal gain that anybody is looking for. We are looking for, how do we make sure this institution is being all it can be? And
Well,
when
we're
we
going to be
are,
right there with you. We're going to be right there with you. As I said, absolutely, DW. They definitely selected the right one, and Jackie Jenkins Scott and Rhonda. I hope your question gives me the reminder to tell folks, one of the beautiful things about Woke Women Wednesday is that we do our 30-35 minutes, and within the 30 minutes afterwards, it's available. I share it and people can
oh,
share.
beautiful.
So I tell folks, Saturday or Friday, it's gonna be snowing. It's gonna be snowing snowing all day. Get your cup of tea or your hot toddy with your whiskey, whatever you do, and turn it on and get comfortable and watch the 30 minutes, because it's not always possible in the daytime, but people
Yeah.
watch. You'll begin to see you can even see who's looking and how many, just checking in from day to day. But she addressed that, Rhonda. That's really what I wanted to tell you. Talked about dealing with it head on. She was at, how are you planning to turn around the negative reputation? She put it on the table within the first 5 minutes of this conversation. So I hope you get to see it. And she said, by tackling it head on and understanding that we can't dismiss it poo poo. Last thing I want to tell you, just you had me thinking about this as I'm seeing you sitting in the office. The former representative Gloria Fox and I spent 9/11 all day at RCC.
Oh,
Got up in the morning, the State House was closed, and we ended up spending it in the office, sitting and playing all day with the former president, Grace Carolyn Brown.
oh my
So that's why
goodness.
I will never forget where I was on 9/11, because I was at
Oh my.
RCC. We were there all day.
Where is Grace? We got to bring her back.
I think she is in, I want to say like Maryland or some. I've heard from her.
Okay.
And I will find her for you.
Beautiful. Because one of the things I was thinking about, there's been a lot of criticism of some of our past presidents, but every one of them made a contribution to this institution.
You're right. Took it
so
to the next step.
They may not have been perfect, but we have to honor that contribution, every single one of them. And I've, heard this and this and this and this. And I always say they all did some things right. They may have done some things, they may have had some missteps, made some decisions that turns out weren't the best decisions.
That's right.
But we find those pieces that they all did right. And so that's part of, I think, our celebration. And that's part of what's going to get us positioned for the next leader. Because we're going to have to give the next leader some grace.
Absolutely.
It's these jobs are hard. They take time. But when we come into it with that shared vision of we can be the very best community college in this country, we know we can do that, then it gives us that little bit of grace. It doesn't take a lot.
No, you're so right.
Because we're not saying you can't criticize. Everybody, you have a right to criticize. That's what I said to the union. That's what I'm saying to them. You can have grievances. Somebody asked me one of the goals you want. I said, right now we have something like 35 grievances. If I can reduce this down to one a month or two a year, I'm thinking we're making progress, because that means that we are responding in a way that you don't feel you have to go the formal route of filing a grievance. So to me, that will be progress.
That's
When I
right.
leave here and turn this over to the next president, I don't want him or her to have 35 grievances to have to deal with. Now, you may say that's simple and minor.
No, I think it's a pretty refreshing attitude, because a lot of folks' goal is to kick it down the pike, leave it for somebody else. What a wonderful way, to wrap this. You've said it all, and I think laying it out there, as they say, plain, for people to hear it. This is going to be real. We have a challenge, but we're also going to have we have challenges. We're also going to have a celebration.
Yeah.
And the plan, as I hear it, is to enlist all of us as enrollment managers. We're all going to be recruiting for the college and rooting for the college. So we'll root and recruit as we grow back.
I love that, Dianne. You just gave me a root and recruit, the 2 R's. I love that. I love it.
And you said, by holding the college accountable and accepting our collective responsibility to make it great.
Yeah.
I got it.
And so I'm here, and I want to hear from,
like 3 or 4 months. You got to come back.
I would love to come back.
50th anniversary anyway.
Yes.
And the next time around. But I thank you. We are grateful. I'm excited. We're happy for you. We're happy for the college, and happy for the community. And just take your charge. It's time for all of us to get to work. So, folks, I'll be back here again next Wednesday. And I want to say, don't get fooled. Wear your mask. Continue when you're out and about. You continue that physical distance. You check on people. While the city of Boston or the Commonwealth may have good numbers in terms of vaccination and boosters and testing, even that's not us. That's not us.
And it may be temporary good numbers.
That's right. You're only about 20-25% vaccination for our children 5 and up. We are testing. We have 3 testing sites going on all day, Tuesday through Saturday at the Bolin Building from 12 to 8. Jubilee Church in Mattapan, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from 12 to 7. The Little Frederick on Columbia Road, Friday, Saturday, and Sundays, right? We have vaccination clinics at, today, actually, we're going to be in Franklin Hill Development. On Friday, we're at the Immigrant Family Services Institute, which is a great space. It is soon to become the official intake center for Haitian immigrants coming to New England.
Excellent.
Great place.
Where is that center, Dianne?
1626 Blue Hill Avenue.
Okay, I'm just wondering, can we get some brochures and information about the college up there?
Great place. I'm going to have to make that connection, because there's a lot going on there. But we're there every Friday from 3 to 7. And actually, we'll be there this Friday with Whittier Health Center, who's doing vaccinations. Black Boston COVID-19 Coalition doing testing. Danella is right here. I'm looking. She said the Shiro. You can't. we share that label then, Danella, because that's what I call Jackie Jenkins Scott as well. I couldn't think of a better way to message to end on. We're with you. That's all I can say. You have a lot of people, like I say, rooting, and now we got to get to recruiting.
Yes.
And we're happy to do that. So come back soon.
I will come back. I love it. And, always a conversation with you, Dianne, is always inspiring and motivating, because you just got me like, I got to get out and find out about this immigration center.
Because I love this city, because I love my people, and I believe in what we can be. And and certainly, my RCC. Oh my God, this is like a beloved institution for so many of us, but you've now laid out a challenge for what we can do to help make it great again. Yes. Because we will be soon.
We will be.
Thank you.
Thank you. Be well. And stay warm and stay out of the snow if it comes.
That's right. Bye-bye.
Be well.